A very good morning to all of you. Welcome to class 11th Economics. We started the chapter 1, that is unit number 1 of microeconomics, that is introduction. And some basic concepts we have already covered. That is what is the difference of goods and services, that is done in the last class. The concept of scarcity, which we have already completed. I told you that this is the limited availability of resources in relation to demand for that. For example, the requirement of resource is more, but the availability of resource is less. So that is known as scarcity of resources, which we call limited availability of resources. Then we have covered up the meaning of choice also. Choice, of course, we have to do because resources are scarce in nature. Suppose if resources are abundance, in abundance, they are available in abundance, there would not be any point to, make a choice for that. For example, if I have a lot of money with me, then why should I make a choice that what I need to purchase and what I not need not to purchase? But because money is limited in nature, I have money resource limited in nature with me, that is why I have to make a choice that what I should buy and what I should postpone, right? Then I told you the meaning of opportunity cost also. Opportunity cost is the cost of next best alternative. Alternative means option foregone. That means, suppose if I have three options, out of which I told you, like yesterday, I gave you an example of if Mr. A can work as a businessman and can earn up to rupees 1 lakh per month, then he can work as a doctor, he can work up to rupees 2 lakhs per month, or he can work as a teacher and earn up to rupees 1 lakh 50,000 per month. Any of the alternative is, if he is choosing any of the alternative, then the next best alternate which he has to forego for going for one main event, that is known as opportunity cost, right? For example, if Delhi Metro has invested rupees 1000 crores in making metro in Delhi, then if the government would not have invested rupees 1000 crores in Delhi Metro, then government would have invested that 1000 crore rupees somewhere else and earn the interest or return out of that. So we have lost that return which we could earn by not investing, by we have investing in metro. So that is ultimately the opportunity cost कि हमने metro में invest कर दिया, तो we have lost the return which we could earn by investment in some else project. That is known as opportunity cost. Now, meaning of economics, we have already covered that economics is concerned with the study of economic problem, like judicious use of resources is basically about the economic study. Now, three types of economies that is being covered already: that capitalist economy, centrally planned or socialist economy, and third is mixed economy. Centrally planned economy or capitalist economy, free economy or capitalist economy is basically that economy which is working for the private entrepreneurs, where the private people, the private entrepreneurs have the complete viewpoint of taking out the decisions in the economy. The centrally planned economy or the socialist power, where the complete control is in the hands of government only, and that is the government only which is taking up all the decisions in that economy, that is centrally planned or socialist economy. Then third is the mixed economy. Mixed economy has the power of both capitalist and socialist. It has the mixed feature of both capitalist and socialist, where some of the feature of capitalist economy takes place and some of the features of socialist economy takes place. The next question was difference of microeconomics and macroeconomics, which have been already clear, that what is the difference of microeconomics and macroeconomics. That microeconomics is basically, I stands in microeconomics, it stands for individual, and A in macroeconomics stands for aggregate, right? So that also the complete difference was done. This question we had already done in the statistics chapter number 1, if you remember, that what is the economic problem and why does it arises. I told you that economic problem is problem of choice. We have to select that what I should fulfill out of the given resources which have alternative uses. So problem of choice we have to basically comply with. That is already being covered in the statistics chapter number 1 with all the three causes that why choice problem arises, because resources are limited in nature. Resources have, of course, alternative uses. That means we can use that resource in many ways. And also the wants are unlimited. Human wants are unlimited. That is why we have to select out of the available resources which can be used in alternative ways. We have to select that which wants we can fulfill now and which wants should be postponed. That is basically the economic problem and its causes. Now, the difference, the last question of our yesterday was the difference between these three types of economies, which Satakshi explained in a very well way, that the difference of capitalism, socialism, and mixedism on various bases. Now we have the next concept. Everybody just look at the board now. We have the next question now, which is the central problems of an economy. You know, central problems, why do we call these things? We call these problems to be the central problems because every economy is having these problems in their nation. Every economy is having these problems in their nation, whether that is the rich economy, that is the poor economy, moderate economy, whether that is developed economy, developing economy, or even underdeveloped economy. Every economy is having these problems in their economy. That is why these problems are called central problems of an economy. And but there are three central problems of an economy. There are three central problems of an economy. You will see that we have three central problems of an economy, which you people observe in every type of economy. Now, what are these three central problems of an economy? The very first problem comes here is, of course, what to produce and in what quantities. The very first problem that comes up in any economy is what to produce and in what quantities. Please listen to me very carefully. This is very, very important concept. Comes in exam frequently. So definitely you have to listen to this answer very carefully. Every economy have one common problem. Basically there are three common problems, jinko jointly we call them the central problems of an economy. And the very first problem out of that is what to produce and in what quantities. You know, every economy aims to think that what I should produce and in what quantity. We have a lot of variety of goods options, alternatives which a producer can produce in its nation. Shall I produce tanks, which are the military products, defense goods? Shall I produce bread, which is the, of course, consumer product, because consumers are there. So definitely, shall I make the products for the consumers? Or shall I produce engine, which is a producer commodity, because engine will be used in, making the cars, would be installed in cars or automobiles, and ultimately the final product will be there. So what kind of product I should produce? This is the first problem in every people's mind in the nation. Whether I should go for one particular or the second one. What commodity I should produce? Because there are many options. We can go for producing consumer goods. We can go for producing producer goods. We can go for producing defense goods. So the question arises, which product should be produced by me as a producer? What I should produce? And also in what quantity? So this is basically the problem of allocation of resources. Don't you think? This is the problem of allocation of resources. Because if I have 20,000 rupees with me and I want to start some production, my question in my mind will come, what good I should produce? That means where I should use my 20,000 rupees. Of course, that is the point. Now, if I want to see that what commodity I should produce, that means where I should use my 20,000 rupees and in what quantity I should produce the commodity and in what quantity I should produce the commodity. Whether I should produce the quantity, produce less quantity, medium quantity, more quantity. This is one of the first problem as a central problem, which we call what to produce, and in what quantity. Right? Second problems comes here is how to produce. अब एक producer को जो second problem आती है, that is how to produce. How to produce means which method I should use in the production, which technique or which method I should use in the production way. Because we have almost two methods of production of any commodity. We can go for producing by labor intensive technique. Labor intensive means where there will be more use of labor and less use of capital. जहां आप capital का use कम करते हो, labor का use ज्यादा करते हो, तो that is of course the labor intensive technique. The second comes here is capital intensive technique. Capital intensive technique means the technique where you are using more of machinery, where you are using more of machinery and less of labor. That is the capital intensive technique. Can you sort out this problem if it is the problem of India? If it is the problem of India, that what method to be used in the production? Can you tell me which method we should produce, which method or which technique we should use in the production in India? Please justify your answer also along with the reason. Sneha want to give the answer. Yes, Sneha, over to you. Unmute yourself.
Sir, we can say that any one technique which we have to use both the techniques. Some places we have to use labor intensive and some places we have to use capital intensive. Because labor intensive, because we have many much more of unemployment, so labor intensive we will use. We can be the shortage of the unemployment, and we should use the capital intensive so that faster the production, faster the profit and all.
Perfect. I'll just justify it later on. Sia, unmute yourself also and kindly tell me, according to you, which method we should use in India for the production?
Labor intensive, I will solve the problem of unemployment.
Okay. We have, you people know that we have a lot of labor abundance in India. Labor abundance means people are unemployed here. They are the job seekers. They want to, search for the job. So we have a lot of labor in India. When we are accounting here that which technique we can use in the production purpose, I think according to me also, I would like to go for the labor intensive technique in India. Because if I opt for the capital intensive technique in India, then already people are here who are unemployed. They are not getting the job. And still, if I say that I would be using the capital intensive only, I would be using the machineries in the production only, then again the problem will arise that more people will still be unemployed here only and they would not be able to earn their livelihood. So it's better to work upon the labor intensive technique in such a country where the labor is available in abundance, where there is the cheap labor, सस्ती labor मिल जाती है, सस्ते में काम हो जाता है, where unemployment is there, and of course you want to reduce the unemployment in the economy, then definitely the choice of technique should be the labor intensive. But what about America, Japan, where there is no much unemployment in the nation? People are already employed there. And now if they want to produce something in America and Japan, they will not go for labor intensive. They'll go for the capital intensive. Why they'll go for the capital intensive? Because they have more capital with them. They have more money with them to buy the larger machineries, the big plants. They can afford to buy that. And people don't have any unemployment rate in the nation. People are already employed. Have you people seen Food Factory? Ek show aata hai on Discovery, Food Factory. I think kabhi na kabhi you people must have seen that. If not, you can view some of the episodes on YouTube. Food Factory is such a show which represents that how in foreign countries production is being done. How production is being done in the foreign countries. They people have a lot of big, plants, big machineries with them. And the people show that only with 3 to 4 people in the complete factory, they are making the chocolates. Because every task is being done through that plant and machinery only. The packets have been made up with the plant and machinery. The packing is done through that. The inclusion of product into the packet is being done through the machinery only. The labor is just observing that whether the proper work is being done or not. That is the job of the labor. Otherwise, everything is being done through the capital intensive technique. You can see that, you can watch that show, you can see that in the food factory show. That is the capital intensive technique. But what in India? If you just see, if you have seen, or if you just see something in factory in India, you will see that each worker is just remote banane ki agar factory hai, so worker is doing complete manual work in making the remote. That is the labor intensive technique, where you are not using any plant and machinery for doing such a job, where you are just working through the labor. The labor is completing that task. So second problem in every economy that comes out to be how to produce. That what should be my choice of technique? How I should produce the commodity in the nation? Whether I should go for the labor intensive technique or I should go for the capital intensive technique. That is how to produce. Got my point? The third problem in every economy, in the central problem, is for whom to produce. I think the name suggests itself, for whom to produce, which means who will be ultimately buyer of my product, for whom I am producing the commodity. Am I targeting the richer section of the society? Am I targeting the poorer section of the society? Am I targeting the middle class of the society? So for whom I am producing, that is also one of the biggest problem and a choice to be made. Why? Because if you are making any such product, definitely you have to target, first of all, the audience which you want to target, the consumers you want to target. You should have that in your mind. Suppose if I talk about Audi car, we all know that if Audi is making a car, it is targeting the richer section of the society, because it is employing all such techniques, all such, accessories in the car, which can be easily afforded by the richer section of the society only. So that the Audi has a clear mindset that they are going to target the richer section of the society. If I talk about the cars of Maruti, the Maruti is targeting the richer as well as the middle class people of the society. They are targeting the middle class people of the society as well as the richer people, because they are going to make such product in such a way that they have their clear mindset that the people are going to target the middle class or upper middle class of the society, right? Same way, a cycle producer have a clear mindset that which society is going to catch. So for whom to produce means it's a problem of distribution of total production among the owners of factors of production, that how I'm going to distribute my product, which target, which session of the society I am targeting. That is known as for whom to produce. So you have to just make yourself clear about what are the three central problems of an economy. Every economy has central problems, and there are three central problems of an economy: what to produce and in what quantities, which basically focuses upon which commodity should be produced. Why we are focusing? Because we have a lot of, the producer has a lot of option available in the economy which he can produce. He can go for making tanks, which are the defense products. He can go for making consumer products, consumables. He can go for making machineries, the producer goods. So he has to make a choice that which commodity is going to produce out of the available. That is ultimately known as the problem, what to produce and in what quantity. That what quantity he should produce and in what quantity he has to produce. Then the second problem, central problem, is how to produce. How to produce it, again, which technique of production should be used, what should be the method of choice of technique that should be used in the production, during the production, because the producer may have the labor intensive technique as well as he may have the capital intensive technique. So the question, the point arises that whether he should go for the labor intensive or he should go for the capital intensive technique. But depending upon what is the solution of this problem, he has to be dependent upon, he has to look at the situation of the country and economy, Then he has to decide that which method or which choice of production he can opt for. Like in India, we will definitely opt for the labor intensive technique because we have more people unemployed in India. So definitely we'll look for having labor intensive technique. Then capital intensive, if you have abundance of capital with you, money with you, then definitely you can go for the capital intensive technique also. And third and last is for whom to produce. We should produce the commodities for whom? Who will be my ultimate distributors to whom I would be distributing my income, my commodities? So that is known as for whom to produce. I hope that is clear to everyone that what are the three central problems of an economy and how does it works. Now, the next concept which you are looking out at your screen is production possibility curve. But this is also given in your book, production possibility curve, but that is not in syllabus now. So please cut the topic production possibility curve. You will see in your book also, you will see a lot of topics related to PPC, like you will see production possibility curve, you will see its assumptions, then shape of PPC, the diagrams related to that, rotation or shift in the PPC, that is all being deleted. Kindly delete the topic, cut the topic from your book. That is PPC, that has been deleted by CBSE. So we are not going to do it. So now next question which you see on your screen is opportunity cost. You remember I have explained this yesterday also, that what is opportunity cost. Now I would want that somebody should explain me that what is opportunity cost along with the example, because I've already explained that yesterday, that what is opportunity cost and how it works. So I hope you all remember that what is opportunity cost. Karthik, unmute yourself and please explain what is opportunity cost. Give an example also.
Sir, opportunity cost is when we check how much money we have spent. Like अगर एक फार्मर है और वो समझाऊं कैसे, मेरे को समझ नहीं आ रहा. अगर एक फार्मर है, if a farmer chooses to plant wheat, so then the opportunity cost is planting a different crop.
Okay.
It has.
You can give the example of Mr. A who can have various alternatives of working in 3 sectors and can earn different amount, but he selected A opportunity. Then what is the opportunity cost of selecting A as an opportunity? B and C, which he has lost. Yes. And out of B and C, which was the better one? That was the opportunity cost. Sia, you explain with an example, please. Opportunity cost.
So it is the next best option that has been forgone. For example, if I have an option of being a CA at 1 lakh, Mr. A has an option of being CA at 1 lakh, a model at 50,000, and some other job at 50,000. And if he has chosen to become taken the job of 80,000, then the next best option that has been forgone, the opportunity cost will be 1 lakh.
Yes. So that means out of the 3 alternatives, if you have opted for any first alternative, then the next best that you have foregone is ultimately the opportunity cost of that. So when we define the opportunity cost here, you can just see at the definition also. Opportunity cost of an activity refers to the amount of other commodity that has been foregone in order to produce the first, as production of all the goods cannot be increased simultaneously. Suppose if a producer is producing 2 commodities, resources are limited. We all know that resources are limited in nature. So definitely for producing 1 more unit of product A, I have to reduce some units of product B, right? For producing 1 more unit of product A, I have to reduce some units of product B. That is, of course, the opportunity cost, right? So same way, you can just define it as it is the next best alternative foregone. For example, Mr. A, who has 3 options. Just let me tell you again, because this is very important concept, so you must know it. So if I'm talking about Mr. A, Mr. A, who has 3 options. Let's see what are those 3 options. He can work as a doctor and earn rupees 2 lakhs per month. All right. He can work as a CA and earn rupees 5 lakh per month. All right. And third, he can work as a businessman and earn rupees 3 lakh per month. Right. Now, what will be the opportunity cost of Mr. A if he selects to work as a CA? If he selects to work as a CA, what will be the opportunity cost of Mr. A? Sneha wants to tell. Yes, Sneha.
Sir, if Mr. A selects to see being a CA, then the next opportunity cost will be businessman.
Because that is the next best alternative that he has foregone. Because he has now selected being a CA and started earning rupees 5 lakh rupees. That means applying to the CA, going towards the CA, he has basically lost working as a businessman and could earn 3 lakh from that also. So for being selected as a CA, the next best alternative which he has foregone is the businessman. So that would be 3 lakh, right? Okay. Now what if I say that Mr. A starts working as a businessman? If he starts working as a businessman, then what is the opportunity cost of being selected as a businessman? Please raise your hands, everyone. I would like to ask from some other student now. Yes, Nishika.
Sir, CA.
Yes, CA will be the opportunity cost for working as a businessman. And reason is, of course, very clear. Because by being a businessman, you are earning 3 lakh per month. But now if you have selected as a businessman, what you have lost? The next best alternative, that is being a CA. Businessman ना बनते तो अगला best कौन सा था? CA था and earning 5 lakh. So you have lost being CA. ठीक, तो opportunity cost of working as a businessman is the CA with 5 lakh rupees. ठीक. Now, what if I say that you have selected being a doctor and you started getting rupees 2 lakhs per month? Vaibhav.
CA is the next best option.
Very good. CA is the next best option because out of that 2 lakh, the next best is now CA, right? So of course, CA would be the option that he has lost. So opportunity cost is very simple. It refers to the cost of next best alternative foregone. जो आपने अगला best option खो दिया है, that cost is ultimately the opportunity cost of selecting the previous one. Clear to everyone? Just have a look at this again. So I think opportunity cost is clear. Now, we will have the last topic left in this chapter. That is the positive economics versus normative economics. The difference of positive economics and normative economics. That we'll be doing definitely in the next class. Now, raise your doubts, please.